Today, I think we're going to get into Beefy a bit more, trying to do everything on a real budget this week and maybe next week, so trying to do all the jobs that don't cost me money, but some maybe make me money. So a few of those on Beefy, I dare say. Woody, can't really do much more to him. A couple of things I need to buy, but I'm holding off on that for a moment. Sort of got a little bit of a holiday thing coming up, so and work's been a bit slow leading up to it, so gotta be careful of the pennies. So I think what we're going to be doing is keep doing some of these fabrication jobs which need to be done on Beefy, and one of them is trying to get the gear shifter now mounted into place. If that goes well, we'll probably look at trying to get those rear wheel brackets mounted properly, and then after that find out what else we can do really. So, but yeah, that's first things today. As you saw, we made the center console for it. So now we've just got to try and mount the gear shifter in there. Not sure how much I want to tidy up all the spot welds and everything on that, because like I said, I'm thinking about putting a padded fabric over top of it anyway. So, and same goes for the dash. I'm sort of thinking about doing that to that as well. So we'll wait and see. I'm not real sure which way we're going to swing with that yet, as long as we get it fabricated for now. So get old Woody out of the way. I need to have a bit of a clean up of shit in the shed here, so we can actually push Beefy forward a bit so we can actually get inside and work on him, and then see what we can do. So let's get stuck into it. Let's go, Woody. So this is going to be a bit of a trial and everything, I dare say. Going to try and fit all this underneath the console. Got the shifter gate. It's got to go on this. For cosmetics and the gullies, I dare say too. Onto that, does it? Pretty much. And we've got $80 120mm of depth there and 80mm there. But like I said, I was pretty much planning on probably cutting out the actual transmission tunnel. I wasn't really wanting to sink into it, but we might have to. So, oh well. Worst case scenarios is we get this mounted in there pretty approximate. I can always fill in and move this hole around a little bit to suit. So it's not all doom and gloom, because this is going to be covered anyway. It's just more going to have a structure. But yeah, it's pretty much what we're going to do is probably take this console out and see how we're going to get this to drop back down under enough. It's got nut and bolts underneath it, so I can always probably remove them and just put threaded rod and adjust and pack it up if I make my bucket in there deep enough. There's going to be a lot of fiddling around, I dare say. Kiss the day goodbye on this one. stop looking at it and start doing. Let's have one last little look at this before I put the center console back in, because I probably won't be reflecting on it too much more. Still got to replace the roof screws there with some nuts and bolts, but that is the actual shifter that came out of a Falcon. The other one I was using was just a spare I had laying around for mock-up, but it seems to work pretty good. I've actually got the factory hole. The cable just goes down. It's not overly stressed. Seems to be okay. We'll run with that anyway. And I might have a grommet here still. We can put in the hole, or at least make up a plate to help fill that in a bit more. So, yeah, that's pretty much how it's looking. So, pretty cool. So I've actually spaced up the back of that shifter to try and get it closer to the actual center console. So we might just chuck the console back in and see how it sits now, see what it looks like. Well, that's in. I wouldn't say packing it up made a boo-hoo difference. Still got that bit of a gap at the back. I mean, in the camera it actually looks worse, but sure do. The idea is probably going to have a fabric coming, rolling around the edges, so I could probably just pack a bit of a ridge as the fabric rolls. It'll actually sit down deeper, or just leave a natural sort of a cushion to help fill in that gap with the fabric. So that's not a big concern. I think that's alright. Probably stick like a couple of cup holders, recessed ones back here. Jeez, it's nearly that thing to actually just make my own and weld them in too. I think I was really looking at the pre-made ones. I just got to drill a hole through the fabric and they just slide in. I think that'll be just neater. Same me have to try and then like put fabric in a cup holder and try and tidy it up like that. Well, I think that's pretty much a success of that. Pretty happy with that little result. So I think we'll now find something else to do. Maybe put these brackets on these rear wheels properly and get the mudguards mounted on properly. Maybe that's the next thing. Alright, let's get into it. Well, that's not looking too bad. Mounted on. Mounted on. I've got to paint them, but I'm just going to paint them on there. So it's looking pretty good. Another job ticked off the list. Actually, while I was under there too, I connected the gear shifter linkage onto the gearbox and plugged in the couple of wires that go to that. I am missing the clip bow that holds a big round connector onto the gearbox. So hopefully that might be in the box there. I'm going to go have a look. I'll be able to buy one anyway, hopefully. So that's connected up. It's not looking too bad that way. There. I don't know if I really got much more in me today. I think that's not going too bad. Blew a hole in the rear brake line going to the caliper, of course. Sort of in the darkness of the helmet down, I touched the side of it and knocked, and next thing you know I got fluid pissing on the floor. So at least my mate back in Tassie has a yard full of these things. He's setting up that wiring loom harness for me to try and plug in for the rear lights. Probably get him up for the little bit of brake line as well now. You know, an open tap of him soon, I reckon. So, but I've been hankering a drink all day. I think it's time to pack up, clean up, go and get a drink. Thanks for watching. Cheers.